Let me ask you something. When you wake up every morning, what's the first thing that drives you, freedom or fear? For most people, it's fear. Fear of not having enough. Fear of losing what they've built. Fear of the bills, the debts, the endless race to keep up. They call it a career. They call it security. But deep down, they know the truth. They're trapped. Trapped in a system that teaches you how to work for money, but never how to make money work for you. Robert Kiyosaki, the man behind Rich Dad, Poor Dad, once said this line that split the world into two kinds of people. Don't work for money. Make money work for you. At first, it sounds simple, but this isn't just a financial principle. It's a paradigm shift. Because this quote isn't about dollars, it's about mindset. It's about how you see yourself in the game of life. Are you the player or the pawn? When I first heard this quote, I'll be honest, it hit me like a punch in the chest. Because I realized something brutal. Most of us have been trained since childhood to become financial employees, not financial creators. We were told, go to school, get good grades, find a safe job, work hard, save money, and one day, maybe, you'll be free. But here's the truth. That model is broken. It worked in the 1950s. It doesn't work now because the economy has evolved, but our education hasn't. And so millions of intelligent, hardworking people are living paycheck to paycheck, not because they're lazy, not because they're not smart, but because they're playing the wrong game. The two games of money. Kiyosaki describes it perfectly. There are two games in life. One, the game where you work for money. Two, the game where money works for you. The first game is the employee mindset. You trade time for money. You earn more only by doing more. You sell your energy, 1 hour, 1 day, one piece of your life at a time. It's linear, it's predictable, it's safe until it's not. Because the moment you stop working, the money stops too. And that's not freedom. That's a leash. The second game, the one Kiyosaki talks about, is the investor mindset. Here, money becomes your employee. You make it go out and work for you while you sleep, while you rest, while you create. It's not about greed. It's about leverage. It's about understanding that true wealth isn't measured in money. It's measured in time. How long could you live your dream life if you stopped working today? That's the real measure of wealth. Let's go deeper. There's a hidden philosophy behind Kiyosaki's words, and it's not just about finance. It's about psychology, because working for money is a belief system. It's the belief that money is the master and you're the servant, that wealth is something you chase, not something you command. But the moment you flip that script, everything changes. You start to see money for what it truly is, a tool, a servant, a form of energy that moves based on how you think. And when your thinking changes, your entire financial reality begins to shift. The first shift, from earn to learn. Here's something most people miss. Before money can work for you, you have to work for knowledge. People say, I can't afford to invest, but that's not the real problem. The problem is they never invested in learning how to invest. Robert Kiyosaki said, the most powerful asset you have is your mind. If trained well, it can create enormous wealth. Think about that. You don't need a trust fund. You need a trained mind. Because a trained mind sees opportunities that others don't. It connects dots. It multiplies value. The untrained mind sees risk. The trained mind sees leverage. That's the difference between scarcity and abundance. The psychology of freedom. Let's get real. Freedom isn't just having money. It's having options. It's being able to say no when something doesn't align with your soul. It's being able to design your life around your values, not your paycheck. When you work for money, your emotions rise and fall with your income. When money works for you, your emotions rise and fall with your vision. One path makes you reactive, the other makes you creative. That's why this quote is so much more than a financial strategy. It's a call to spiritual sovereignty, because when you stop being enslaved by money, you start being empowered by purpose. So here's the question I want you to ask yourself today. Are you working for money, or is your money working for you? Because one will keep you alive and the other will set you free. In part 2, we'll go deep into the how to shift from the employee mindset to the investor mindset, how to create multiple streams of income, how to build systems that make your money work harder than you do. You'll learn how to think like the rich, act like the free, and live like the limitless. Because that's what this quote is about, not just building wealth, but building liberation. You and I are about to walk through the mental blueprint that separates those who chase money from those who command it. Because if you don't master the game of money, you'll spend your life playing for someone else's scoreboard. So in this part, we'll break down 3 financial shifts, the mindset transformations that take you from working for money to making money work for you. And by the end of this, you'll see money for what it truly is, a servant of vision. Shift 1, from employee thinking to investor thinking. Let's start here. Most people were trained to be employees. It's not their fault. It's the conditioning of an outdated world. We were taught, study hard, get a good job, earn a stable paycheck. But that security comes with an invisible cost, dependency. When you work for money, you depend on others to validate your worth. You depend on hours, bosses, systems, and economies. You depend on external permission to rise. But investor thinking flips that. An investor doesn't earn money. They deploy it. They see money as energy that can multiply through decisions, systems, and leverage. They think in terms of assets, not income. Because here's the truth. Income pays bills. Assets build freedom. Every paycheck you earn either goes into consumption or into creation. Every dollar is either a soldier fighting for your future or a prisoner trapped in your lifestyle. The rich don't let money sit idle. They train it. They teach it to move, to multiply, to serve. So if you want to start living like an investor, stop asking, how can I earn more? And start asking, how can I make what I earn work for me? That one question can change your destiny. Shift 2, from labor to leverage. Here's what most people don't realize. You can't scale time. No matter how hard you work, there are still only 24 hours in a day. But leverage multiplies your time, your effort, and your impact. Kiyosaki calls this the power of systems. When you create systems that earn for you, even when you sleep, that's when you've crossed the line from working for money to money working for you. There are 3 primary forms of leverage. 1, financial leverage, using capital to acquire income-producing assets, stocks, real estate, businesses. 2, system leverage, building processes, teams, or technology that generate income without your daily labor. 3, knowledge leverage, turning what you know into scalable value, courses, books, intellectual property, brand. Each one requires initial effort, yes, but then they compound exponentially because the universe rewards leverage. The more you serve through systems, the more your freedom expands. So the next time you think about working harder, pause, ask yourself, what can I build that works while I rest? That's the moment you begin to step into financial intelligence. Shift 3, from scarcity to abundance. Let's talk about the emotional side, the part that really defines your financial destiny. Scarcity says, I have to hold on to what I have. Abundance says, I can create more whenever I choose. Scarcity people hoard money. Abundant people circulate it with wisdom. Because they understand that money, like blood, has to flow or it dies. The energy of money responds to belief. When you believe it's limited, it contracts. When you believe it's infinite, it expands. That's not philosophy, it's psychology. Every time you invest in growth, you send a message to the universe. I trust myself to multiply what I touch. Every time you let fear stop you, you whisper, I don't believe I'm capable of handling more. And the universe listens. So when you act from abundance, when you invest in knowledge and assets in relationships, you create momentum. And momentum is the secret of the rich, because the rich aren't just rich in money, they're rich in belief, clarity, and courage. The wealth triangle. Let's bring this all together into something practical. Kiyosaki often describes wealth as a triangle built on three pillars. 1. Mindset, how you think about money. 2. Skill set, how you use money. 3. Asset, where your money grows. If one side is weak, the triangle collapses. So your job isn't just to earn more, it's to think, act, and invest like wealth itself. Let's break that down. Mindset. Reprogram your inner dialogue. Stop saying, I can't afford it, and start asking, how can I afford it? That question activates creativity instead of limitation. Skill set. Learn financial literacy. Understand debt, cash flow, investing, and tax. Most people fear what they don't understand. Knowledge gives you control. Asset. Build vehicles that grow without your daily effort. Investments, businesses, IP. Every asset you create becomes another employee working for your vision. That's the triangle of freedom. That's how the rich think. The inner dialogue of the wealthy. Let me tell you the most powerful difference between the poor and the wealthy. The poor ask, how much will this cost? The wealthy ask, what will this return? The poor ask, can I afford this? The wealthy ask, how can I create it? The poor think in expenses. The wealthy think in investments. The poor chase stability. The wealthy chase expansion. It's all mental programming. Because wealth doesn't start in your wallet, it starts in your mind. When you upgrade your thinking, your finances catch up. The game you're really playing. Here's the truth that will set you free. You're not in the money game. You're in the freedom game. Money is just the scoreboard. The real game is mastering yourself, your discipline, your habits, your courage to invest in what others fear. Because at the end of the day, wealth is simply a reflection of who you've become. You don't chase money. You attract it by the value you bring and the wisdom you apply. So when Kiyosaki says, don't work for money, make money work for you, what he's really saying is this: stop renting your potential and start owning your destiny. You and I have been on a journey from the mindset of the worker to the mindset of the investor to the mindset of the creator. And now it's time to integrate it all. Because knowledge without embodiment is just noise. It's when you live what you've learned that life begins to move differently for you. So in this final part, I want you to imagine something with me. You wake up tomorrow morning, not to an alarm clock, but to purpose. Not to obligation, but to freedom. Because you've built a life where your money, your skills, your systems, and your vision all work for you. That's not a fantasy. That's financial enlightenment. That's what Kiyosaki meant when he said, don't work for money, make money work for you. Step 1, design your freedom system. Let's make this real. If you want your money to work for you, you need a system, and every freedom system is built on 4 pillars. 1, cash flow. You need income streams that don't depend on your presence. That could be investments, digital assets, real estate, or businesses. The goal, cash flow that comes in even when you don't clock in. 2, automation. Use technology and processes to handle repetitive tasks. The less you manage, the more you multiply. The 3, reinvestment. Never let money sleep. Put it back into things that grow. Your knowledge, your assets, your systems. Money is like water. It evaporates when it stands still. 4, Purpose. This is the heart of it. If your money doesn't serve your purpose, you'll always feel empty, because money without meaning is just paper. Step 2. The cycle of wealth. Wealth isn't built in straight lines. It's built in cycles. There's a rhythm to abundance. You earn, you save, you invest, you reinvest, and you elevate. The difference between the rich and the poor isn't luck. It's how fast they complete the cycle. Most people stop at earn. They make money, they spend it, and they start over. The wealthy, they keep the energy circulating. They treat every dollar like an employee, give it a mission, track its performance, and promote it when it delivers. That's how you build compounding wealth, not just financially, but mentally and spiritually. Step 3. The inner mastery. Because here's the truth. Before you can master money, you must master yourself. The greatest wealth you'll ever create is emotional stability. Because if you can't control your emotions, you'll never control your finances. Kiyosaki once said, "The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. Fear of losing, fear of risk, fear of uncertainty." But here's the paradox. Wealth grows in the soil of uncertainty. If you only plant seeds where you're comfortable, you'll harvest nothing but mediocrity. So when fear shows up, don't retreat, retrain it. Instead of asking, "What if I lose?" ask, "What if I learn?" That question alone can shift you from panic to power. Step 4. Live like a wealth creator. You don't need millions in the bank to start thinking like the wealthy. You just need to live by wealth principles. Here are 5 daily practices to integrate. 1. Track your money daily. Awareness equals control. 2. Invest at least 10% of your income in assets. Always pay your future first. 3. Feed your mind before your account. One idea can change your entire trajectory. 4. Expand your circle. Wealth is contagious when you surround yourself with the right people. 5. Practice gratitude, because abundance flows where appreciation grows. Do this long enough, and money will no longer be your master. It will be your messenger. It will carry your vision into the world. The true meaning of wealth. Let's talk about the ultimate truth behind this quote. Don't work for money. Make money work for you. Isn't just about escaping the 9 to 5. It's about transcending dependence. When you no longer chase money, you open yourself to higher forms of wealth. Time, peace, fulfillment, choice. You become the architect of your destiny, not the laborer of someone else's dream. That's what Kiyosaki discovered. That wealth begins when you stop asking, "How can I earn more?" and start asking, "How can I create value that outlives me?" And when you live from that place, money becomes a byproduct, not the purpose. So let me ask you, right now, who's working harder, you or your money? Because if your answer is me, then you've got work to do. Not in your job, but in your mindset. Start small. Build one income stream that isn't tied to your hours. Invest in something that grows while you sleep. Knowledge, content, a product, a skill, an asset. Do that once, then do it again, then never stop. That's how freedom compounds. That's how you make money serve you, not enslave you. You've just finished episode 6 of the Immortal Quotes podcast. And if there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this. Money is a tool. It's not your enemy. It's not your master. It's your student. Train it, direct it, multiply it, and let it serve the vision you were born to bring into this world. Because wealth isn't just what you accumulate, it's what you activate. The question is, will you keep working for money, or will you start making money work for you? The choice, as always, is yours. Next time on Immortal Quotes, we go deep into one of the most powerful truths ever spoken by Bo Bennett. Success is not in what you have, but who you are. We'll explore why the richest people on earth focus less on accumulating things and more on becoming someone extraordinary. You'll learn how to shift from external success to internal greatness, how to align achievement with authenticity, and how to live a life that's not just rich, but real. Because the next episode isn't about wealth, it's about worth. So stay with me. Keep growing, keep evolving, and remember, you are not here to survive. You are here to master yourself. This is Immortal Quotes, and your next evolution begins right now.